they say that that exposes them to further contempt and hatred, hateful expressions and whatnot, particularly in today's world post 9/11, that has made a number of Muslims more vulnerable to hatred and contempt?
You know, I don't follow the Edmonton newspapers too closely, but the last house of worship that was firebombed in Edmonton was the synagogue I attended up there in law school, the one on Jasper Ave. I think it's called the Beth Shalom, where a Jordanian immigrant, a radical Muslim, firebombed it, but the fool broke the Tom, do you know this case that went to the Court of Appeal? The fool got himself covered in the kerosene, and he rolled around on the lawn to put up the fire, and his cell phone fell out. And that's how they caught him. This dumb, radical, fascist Muslim Arab from Jordan firebombed my synagogue in Edmonton. So when Larry Shaben cries wolf, he's just a fibber. He's crying wolf. The last house of worship torched in Edmonton was my synagogue. And, you know, it's not these cartoons that create hatred. It's radical Muslims who blow things up, who torch my synagogue, who file nuisance suits. They're the ones who make people hate Muslims. If Syed Sohrawardi and his fellow, take for example, Mohammed al-Masri, the anti-Semite who runs the Canadian Islamic Congress, every time he opens his mouth, he creates hatred for Islam. Because North Americans say, yikes, if that is what Islam's about, I don't like it. When you've got a Saudi thug trying to censor a magazine, that builds hatred. When you've got a moderate liberal Muslim who comes to Canada, like Rawa Khalid, who says, yes, freedom of speech, yes, I'm getting away from Sharia. Well, that's like everyone else who came here. Everyone came to Canada for our freedoms and to have a better life. But when these radicals start trying to import their values, whether it's violence or honor killings like Aqsa Parvez or torching synagogues like the Beth Shalom, that's what makes people say, I hate you. Larry Shaben should look in the mirror and ask himself, is suing magazines and trying to get them censored, does that make people like Muslims less or more? And every Muslim moderate in the country should phone these thugs and say, shut up, you fools. You're acting in my name, and you're embarrassing my religion. You don't speak for me. What kind of clown says he represents the Supreme Council of Islam? It's a part-time job for him. It's a hobby. He has a real job downtown at IBM. His grandiose title. He doesn't speak for Islam, but every time he claims to do so, he further defames Islam. And if he claims to be a descendant of Muhammad, he defames his ancestor with his conduct.